Sideline of goal! Late winner's doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Verdi! Alone with a double kill! Dropping fast! Final points there! He's still alive! Wait, Roshan gets slimed! He's going one side! He's going a second! He's taking it out! Oh my God! On three! They're all dead!
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Summit 2 by G2A.com in the America Division. We're in day number 6 and we've made it all the way through to the last game of the day. Game number 5, another best of 1. This time it's going to be a matchup between Infinity Stack, or Infinity +4, taking on Pain Gaming, formerly known as CMB, the Brazilian squad. So a nice little Northern American versus Southern American flair. Joining me is going to be no one. I'm going to be all my lonesome for this one. FRL did need to step out. In fact, I wasn't expecting him to even join me in the last game. So I figured the last game, I can go ahead and just take it home all by myself. No need to get a hold of someone to just have him come in for one brief moment and send them back packing. So Captain Picard, you got to go. You got to go. I will go ahead and be co-casting with a kitten in a teacup. Sounds pretty good. All right, so myself and the kitten, we're going to go ahead and take it home. Let's go ahead and hop into the draft. And as you can see, with the advantage of flipping and getting the first pick, Infinity Stack get a hold of that precious and dear Mr. Skywrath Mage as their first grab. And Pain Gaming, they follow it up with a Tidehunter and Ogre Magi, favoring heavy tanky ability and overall good team impact right there. It's interesting that they kind of went right for the Tidehunter and didn't really care for, let's say, Big Bad Warden, the Centaur Warrunner, who seems to be like the platinum tier as far as offlane goes. That global presence with Stampede and being able to use it both offensively and defensively is just so huge. So they're not going to favor that. Instead, they're going for big team fight, big AoE overall, and strong initiation with the Tidehunter once he does get a hold of that Blink Dagger. Most people feel like as well, he does have a better advantage on the Dire side in the off lane, even though they did change around the Ancient stacks a little bit and where they're located. He still has relatively easier access to getting to him than you would on the Radiant side, so that if, if it doesn't work out to their liking as far as how the laning phase goes, he can always step over there, get a couple of stacks in, dish out that heavy anchor smash, and quickly build up the funds for that Blink Dagger, which he just desperately needs. Also, they get, of course, Ogre. And it's just funny because, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, it was Ogre, like, the spicy pick. I love seeing him. But now it's all Ogre, all the time. And every team loves him. They're all about the stats. And, you know, who's to blame him? You know, naked, 7 armor, 2.5 health regen. Heavy burst, great lockdown. He's one of the few supports that has both a stun and a slow. The other ones who have that are like Crystal Maiden and Jakiro. So it has he offers a lot of utility that most supports can't really have. And on top of the already heavy stat game and tank ability, he can really zone out an offlaner easily. But hey, we've also seen him played as a core. You know, Root Gaming love to play it. We've seen Sneaky Nyx Assassins also do it. You know, it's just a matter of where you decide to land them on out. And for Infinity, they follow up with their own support grab, the Sand King, who's got one of the best, if not the best, stuns in the game. That instant burrow strike, and he can gap close so well once he gets that Blink Dagger, which also makes him so good, as he could easily move into the jungle at any point and just go ahead and, you know, farm up a Blink Dagger with that Sandstorm. Now that kind of raises a flag to Pain Gaming, like, okay, well, Sand King, he's got a quota to meet. He's going to go ahead and just kind of, you know, get his job done in the jungle and build up that Blink Dagger and not really look to try to gank out the mid lane, let's say. So there's not going to be a lot of pressure, a lot of aggression early on from Infinity, so Pain can kind of play a little more greedy. Maybe their secondary support could be someone in the jungle, like an Enigma, Enchantress, Chen, someone who can benefit from a lot of farm. We'll see if that's what they're going to go for. But for their third grab, they're going to get Naga. So the first time today, we're going to see the core Naga. Mixed feelings about the hero. I mean, you know, technical. Got to push it to the late game. You got to get her to her final form where she can really, really stride and be able to just kind of spread the map and build in huge amounts of farm for herself. You know, definitely trying to push forward to getting a hold of that Radiance. might go with an early foundation build of an Aquila and drums to start beforehand, but regardless, the game plan is now out there for Pain Gaming, and we're looking to take it to the long run. We want to be able to create space and potentially build on top of that with a bit of a snowball hero. Their mid laner grab here could be someone like a TA, like a Puck, someone who could take advantage from having a strong mid-game presence to kind of create space for Naga. And now seeing this Rubik grab, it's pretty apparent that this Ogre is definitely going to be a support. So Rubik is going to be hand in hand with Ogre as far as support team for Pain Gaming. And he works great against Clockwork, which was picked up from Inphinity. I mean, they have now a fantastic initiator in their off lane who can get it done, gap close, and try to pick off someone like Naga. And the Battery Assault will prevent her from getting off that Song of the Siren. So, you know, he works nicely there. But Rubik also works good against the Clockwork. Telekinesis can obviously get his, himself out of the cogs and away from, putting extra aggression on his own teammates. And now he benefits from being able to steal a wide variety of spells, including the now picked up Mirana, my lady, my love, her arrow, Clockwork's hook shot, let's say, Rocket Flare, Sand King's Burrow Strike has got to be one of the most prominent pickups to get a hold of right there. And, of course, Skywrath Mage. So he works pretty nicely here, and they can actually go pretty aggressive early with him. Throw a smoke in his pocket, he'll blaze it up all frickin' day and have pressure on that mid lane. Which, with this Mirana grab, this is not going to be a support Mirana. They already have Skywrath Mage and Sand King. Unless they do something crazy like put Skywrath mid lane, which I don't imagine that's going to be the case. But Mirana, nonetheless, expect her to be either in the mid lane or more prominently known in the off lane. We did see Mirana Rhine as a core in the safe lane earlier today in the hands of Navi US and their newest pickup, Ush, which almost got to a pinnacle point where it would work out, but didn't quite get there. So Mirana, interesting enough. It can work. It's not like a common combo you're seeing with the Shadow Demon or Bane, but I guess Cogs could lock them in place for an easy arrow opportunity. They already have additional stun with the Burrow Strike, and if they do happen to land a big arrow, Skywrath Mage is going to have a field day with this Mystic Flare. So there's a bit of synergy there for Inphinity. It's not as ideal as you mostly catch on some of the teams that already grab a Mirana, but it's there. It's definitely there. Pain Gaming need to round out now with what I would imagine being their mid laner here, and it's going to be an Invoker. And I like the Invoker grab, man. We don't see enough Invokers anymore. It just really fell off. And wow, that quick grab. We might be in for the long haul, folks. It looks like Infinity also want to look contest the late game, and that looks like it will be a mid lane Mirana, as Infinity himself has already grabbed a hold of her. We'll see if they decide to switch on up. But Morphling looking to press the late game here for Infinity and try to contest Naga. He has his own late game capabilities and split push potential that can even keep a Naga Siren sweating quite a bit. Naga takes a little bit longer to come online. I'd say to her full potential above a Morphling, especially if he does manage to get a lot going. And plus, he can get involved in fights a little bit sooner, with the benefit of waveform and, hell, even a decent, early on adaptive strike can kind of get the job done. But King RD, this is a guy who many proclaim as one of the best in the South America, that is. And I know he's quite the mercenary. He's been around the block on a couple of teams, but has found a home here on Pain Gaming Squad, the former CMB Brazilian group who have always showed a lot of promise. But as far as their current record, though, in the Summit 2, it's not that great. They are currently sporting a 0-3 record in the Summit 2 for Pain Gaming. For Infinity Stack, if you want to look at the other side, they are currently sporting a 3-1 record. So they're well at the top right now, feeling pretty comfortable. And I'd have to say, man, they've been having a strong showing. Of all the teams that were just kind of like a ragtag group, like your Gurg Squad / Ham Ham Clubhouse, like your Stay Free, Infinity Stack has been one of the teams that has actually lived up to the hype as far as just kind of being a, NA reject kind of a group that's kind of just thrown together. I mean, who knows? Maybe they've been playing together for quite a while, but under the management of Nayrok, another profoundly known NA player, he has put together a pretty solid ragtag group that's been showing a lot of promise. Infinity, man, is a solid mid lane player, and overall they show some great individual talent, and it actually seems to work for them. Whereas other teams, it's not really working for them, and they're still trying to find their groove. Now we are going to have an early pause, as it looks like one of the players has disconnected, and we'll need to wait a moment as they do come back. But I guess I could just take this moment to sell out a little bit more. If you haven't already, and you would love to be able to join in on the action here on Dota TV and have an opportunity to win a couple of those sweet little item drops. Maybe you want to control the camera yourself. Maybe you're sick and tired of seeing my crap-ass camera work and you want to do it yourself. By golly, do it all you want. I don't really care. You can do that. Just go ahead and pick up that sweet Beyond the Summit item bundle, chest, whatever the hell it is, for $9.99. You can get that sweet ticket. watch it inside the game, inside Dota TV. You can join us and spectate chat in there. Maybe you're not a big fan of the Twitch chat. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Twitch chat. I love my Twitch chat crew. Thanks for coming out and supporting, by the way. And it looks like we will be able to get back underway. But just as I say that, we're going to need another pause. I guess Pain Gaming weren't quite ready to go. Anyways, that also comes with the courier, by the way. The precious little husky courier. Adorable as ever. It needs a home. It's ready for adoption. Whereas, if you look at this freaking courier, look at this ugly son of a bitch. What the hell is that? I mean, the husky courier puts this thing to shame. That is a black turd. Burnt to a crisp. But, you know, that's what it looks like Infinity Stack want to roll with. Let's go ahead and just for comparison's sake. Did they get a courier yet? I don't think they bought one yet. I'm not seeing one anywhere here. Pain Gaming. Need to get on that. And they also, of course, have the chests in the stores. You can get all those sweet sets that we constantly show off and you guys all hate looking at in the splash screen while we blast out the Monster Cat loud as ever, which I'm sure everybody has been enjoying by now. But regardless, it's good enough as it is. Anyways, we're going to have to wait out what looks like for another bit of a pause for Pain Gaming to also get their act together, and we'll get underway. So with that said, I guess we can just kind of begin the theory crafting process as far as how these drafts goes. Considering I don't have the chance to really shoot the shit with anyone else, I'm happy to just keep talking to myself. It's not a big deal. So Mirana as a core. We don't see it a whole lot often, but I guess a lot of teams don't either. I mean, I'm sure Pain Gaming aren't going to be too familiar with seeing a Mirana in the mid lane, but Infinity's looking to get done. I mean, unless you're Sing Sing, it's not notoriously known. And man, he is sporting a wicked sick mount right here. Look at this. It's a griffin or something. Wide-eyed. She is like really showing off the leg right now. Jesus Christ. And sporting the Videl Sassoon updo. I'm appreciating it right now. Anything else of note? Nope. Nope. Just a nice, genuine griffin. Making it work. We got Sna right here. Sna, formerly of the Sneaky Nyx Assassins, him and Ush, who were the pioneers of that team back when it was the Wild Witch Doctors with WWD himself, when they used to do a lot of work in the Sunday Evening Cup Series and NEL. Both have departed now from that team. And Sna is now consistent of no one original except for, I guess, Whitebeard. And it's more of a reincarnation of Team Liquid. But whatever. Here we go. We're back and underway, people. It's game number 5, the final one of today here for the Summit 2 by G2A.com in the America Division to round out our 5th and final matchup. It's going to be Pain Gaming taking on Infinity Stack. Let's go ahead and lead our introductions here. On our Radiant team, looks like we're going to have Mr. Grent XD Green. Every time I look at his name, I think it says Green TD, which makes me miss the olden Warcraft 3 custom days, that's for sure. Green TD, but for now he's just playing the Watermelon Man with a nice skull cap right there. Tidehunter in your off lane. In mid, it's going to be Mr. 40R, who's typically the core late game carry potential right now, and he's actually going to be playing the mid lane Naga Siren, almost RTZ-esque, and how appropriate he actually is sporting the RTZ set. And he's going to look to flaunt it out here in your mid lane. Along the bottom, it looks like we'll have a bit of a trifecta. You got Ned playing your Rubik support. We got Mr. Baga playing your big boy Ogre McGee or Ogre Magi. And finally, that leaves King RD as your safe lane invoker. And I'm real curious to see. I would wager he's probably going to go with Quas Wex. I know we don't see Quas Wex a whole lot often, but in situations like this, when you're kind of protecting out your true precious core, that being the Naga Siren, you might go for more crowd control. So the Tornado, the EMP would certainly help. We'll see if that's going to be the case. Otherwise, I'm sure that they could still offer a lot globally with Quas Exort and a little bit of extra damage and pushing potential. That rounds out your Pain Gaming squad. No early aggressive movement from either team, by the way, which is interesting to note. So on the side of Dire, we got Infinity +4, Infinity Stack. It's going to be Snot playing that Skywrath Mage. We got Lust, who's back at it again, playing his Sand King. He loves playing that hero. SN is going to be going on the Morphling in the mid lane. So we're going to see a battle of the cores and the battle of the late game Titans going toe-to-toe already in the early laning phase. Top lane is actually going to be Infinity, who typically is the mid laner. Actually going to go with the safe lane farming Mirana, and might already get a bit of assistance here. They try to completely zone back, but luckily Tidehunter had put this ward down over here, so he sees the early movement, and he's going to play it extra cautious and sit back. He has 4 tangos plus 1 shared tango. He's got to have plenty of health regen. And finally, to round out Infinity Stack, we got MJW, their offlaner, and he's going to be playing the Clockwork, going against the Tri-Stack of Pain Gaming. And he puts out the early cogs to get the Creequilibrium under the tower, and he's almost got level 2 already. But trying to pick up extra CS. He only gets 1 creep, though, so last hitting under that tower can prove to be quite a problem. And we'll go ahead and get things underway here. Interesting, man. Naga against Morph. Not a mid lane matchup you see every day. But I think Morphling has the better end of this one. He's going to be harder to catch out. Naga, you know, until she gets level 6, she can be very susceptible to being caught out by ganks. And it might be something that Infinity Stack consider. I mean, normally your Sand King is going to look instead to kind of get the farm done in the jungle, start building up the early stacks, so that way he can indeed build up into that Blink Dagger quicker. But if they choose to, they could roam around and maybe find an opportunity to open up on that Naga. But with no smokes, it looks like that might not be the case. Instead, they'll just maybe see if they can land a nice hunky-dory arrow on this Tide, who it looks like he's currently going to go scout out the first real official rune of the game, the 2-minute rune, which is about to pop up. He'll be right there on the top. That leaves Baga on the bottom, and it looks like it will be Pain Gaming controlling both the top and bottom rune. And Tidehunter's very happy that he got a hold of the bounty rune and not that pesky little regen. He wouldn't have been able to do anything with that shit. Baga's like, I'll just kind of guard out the regen for now and save it for our mid laner, who's heading that way right now. It's 40R. He's kind of got himself on the high ground on the other side and has kind of took the curve over. Meanwhile, top lane, they might make a go here. Burrow Strike, Arcane Bolt. Can they follow up with a nice arrow? Ooh, the Sperm Arrow. Not going to catch. It's a little too late, unfortunately. The timing's not going to be there. They do take Tide down to half-life. He's just going to be forced to regen up. But regardless, more space created, I suppose, for Infinity to continue farming. But look who's also pushing behind the tower here. Got Pain Gaming and Baga, that big, tough ogre who's happy to take a few pot shots from the tower with that big, bulky 7 armor. Is happy to go very, very aggressive here. And they force MJW to step all the way back, but they can't quite get a hold of him. This new little pathing over here on the side also makes it a lot easier for this Radiant side to kind of go more aggressive. But you can say the same for the opposite as well. It's easier to gank, and, well, we are going to need a more pauses, which I love. You know, we make our way through the full day, 4 games. They actually relatively keep us on schedule and end at a reasonable time. Some a little quick, some slightly long, but overall we've been pretty much on schedule. It's been nice, you know. That's a bit uncharacteristic for beyond the schedule, but finally in this last game we got to get a Naga and a Morphling, which kind of already raises the red flag that this is going to be quite the long one. And now with these pauses, that certainly doesn't help, because trust me, I am hungry. I am ready to indulge myself and gorge in some sweet and delicious In-N-Out burger. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to be waiting that much longer if these pauses keep frickin' stacking up. And I'm going to become quite hangry real quick. You don't want to see me when I get hangry, that's for sure. Anyways, whatever. Filing on through, let's go ahead and touch base with some of these items. Well, Baga doesn't really need a whole lot to start. He got with the early boots so he can have that extra bit of mobility. And he's got 2 sentries, too. It doesn't look like they bothered with any sort of early warding process. And there's no ward even over here to go for. It looks like. Unless I'm missing something? Yeah, it's hidden right over here behind. Look at that. Where is it? Am I missing? There it is. It's inside. I'm just blind as a bat. My Game is Pause logo is covering it. It's actually inside blocking the camp, so if he so chooses, which he could be heading that way right now, he can go for a quick D-ward. But it's going to take a special spot to do it. And, well, we do have a Quas and a Cold Snap. We're waiting to find out here what he decides to invest in, as far as if this is going to indeed be a Quas Wex, which I still am banking that's going to be the game plan thus far. His early item build is going to be the Null. A little bit of extra right click, 49 plus 3, and boots as well. And for Ned on his Rubik, just all item consumption. Just a real chemist with his Clarity Salve and frickin' Tangos over here. This is ridiculous. Can we just hustle right now? What is taking so long? King RD, can you get back? This guy is also, not only is he known for being a great player, you know, I do have to give it to him for how good of a player he is. He always does have to play with some serious ping issues. And, well, for how well he does considering the ping, it's not too shabby, but he has to wait, apparently, until the network is back in his favor to come back. Anyways, Naga took that regen, balled it up, takes it back to mid lane. Morphling's also in the bottle game. Relative mirror match in the mid lane for now. Tide's going to need a lot more timing with the early boots for high mobility. And it looks like Infinity, who's going straight for more arrow, leap kind of a build, got with the early Wraith Band to help with that right click in. Man, I am really dissecting this game for how long this pause is. And I'll have nothing else to talk about when the game actually begins. Whatever. Snog got second level, so he's got the Arcane Bolt to add a little bit of extra harassment. And he has a pull happening here, so the creeps can kind of come back up towards the favor of Infinity to get those last hits. Lust making work with the side camp for now. Boots as well. No stacks built up yet. I imagine that's going to be on the docket here. As you see, actually there's one stack right here. You see your mud golems. Look how freaking ugly these things are. Real herp derps. Heading back. Oh, it's the two-headed, the rare endangered two-headed mud golem with the back arm. And that back arm, you won't see it coming. He'll hit you right in the ass. Jesus Christ. All right, well, I'm going to drop the loyal little question mark right there to let them know that I am curious about can we get the hell rolling on this one. As Daddy's ready to take it on home. Loading, apparently, so I guess we're getting somewhere. Anyways, back and underway. Unfortunately, I believe these matches were not on the Dota 2 Lounge today. So for all you gambling fiends, sorry that you don't get the opportunity to put up those sweet, sweet commons in hopes to get in the secondary Kunkka hat after a potential win. But I would imagine, you know what, it's hard to say. I would imagine based on rankings, Infinity Stack are the slight favorites in this one, but Pain Gaming are, I don't want to say more experienced, but they definitely have more chemistry. They have more experience playing together. They've been together for quite a while. But Infinity have shown a lot of true individual talent. And look at that. The game is back and underway. I'm actually blinded right now by the true color. And look at this. Wave dashing on forward right after the pause is going to be SN. Adding a little bit of extra muscle towards that Naga. But she still has that regen. She can just kind of pop right here. And she does. And gets her resources back online. No problem whatsoever. And it looks like Baga, who had moved around, does get down that sentry on the low ground and does promptly take on that ward like we were expecting. Not too shabby. And look at that. Clockwork has been trying to block out this side camp, or at least take it down. Isn't too bad. Nice little side tactic right there for him to get in the farm. And he is leveling up the rocket here. Level 2. Not going with any in a battery assault, so he's not looking to get aggressive in this lane. Maybe if it was like a one-on-one kind of a matchup, he'd be building it a little bit different, but that's not going to be the case. Infinity is letting Mr. Gren know that he needs to stay on the hell back. And he's going to dish out some hefty right clicks. He's going right for the phase boots, so already building in a little bit of extra damage, that plus 12, putting in the muscle right there. 4-minute rune is going to be a bounty on top. This time it will be Infinity Stack to get that one. And Baga is there once again on the bottom to grab the now illusion. So he picks that up for himself, heads on back. Naga is not going to have a rune to bottle up this time. And it looks like she's going to go for the early Aquila build on your Naga. This is just pretty much a cookie-cutter, Arteezy kind of a Naga build that we actually haven't seen him use in quite a while, but 40R is one to carry games. I believe in both their games, which, what are they, 0 and 3? At least, I know from 2 of the games, they always seem to pull together a pretty... Yeah, I missed the back end of that one while I'm talking to myself. Cameraman, can you just fix your shit and get it together? Tide falls. There's his body art. Just dead right here. Gets caught out in the top lane very easily. They just push well and on past, and I'm not too sure if they'd landed an arrow to lead things off, but they make quick work of the Watermelon Man, and he does fall. And Lust will continue to benefit from this. Gets his own side pull happening right now. Has stacks in the jungle to work with. The Mud Golems aren't going to make anything easier, but still reliable farm to still fall back on. And Ned has also made his appearance here in the top lane to take advantage of the brief solo lane. And he actually might stay by Tidehunter's side here for a little bit. Nope, never mind. Just as I said, Ned's like, all right, dude, you got it. I'm out of here. I'm going to migrate elsewhere and maybe consider adding a little pressure towards the mid lane if necessary. As far as CS goes, though, it's SN getting on top right now. 33 and 6 to Naga's 29. So they're relatively neck and neck, but Morphling is just hanging in there by a hair, making it work. And Ned is still lingering nearby. And Infinity also getting a lot done. He's at 30 and 10 on that top lane. MJW drops down the cogs before extra harassment can come in. Just as I say that, look who's turning the corner. It's Baga. Lingering nearby. He's got the 2-2-0 kind of a build, and he's hustling on in. Hey, buddy, there's a fire blast for you. Doesn't take him down a whole lot. Just kind of like looks at Ogre like, what the hell is that?
Middle tower
whatever.
under attack.
And he's actually going to walk all the way back to base. Maybe just really needs the mana or something.
Do it with
Throw a
flair.
rocket on the way back out, but regardless, has to take the long trip. And this is more space for Invoker to farm on up. And look at that. Called it right. It is indeed going to be the Quas Wex Invoker, proving that the Tornado EMP and crowd control capabilities with Cold Snap as well proves to work out to the benefit of their team with the Naga on hand. Wave dashing forward right now is SN, dishing out some extra bit of right clicks right here. But Naga now actually did not even level up Sleep yet. Level 7,
Radiant's
went with the
middle tower is under
4-0-3
attack.
kind of a build. So if she does get caught out with a gank, will not have the Sleep to fall back on. And look who is rotating on through. And it's going to be Sna and Lust. Quiet mission. Their smoke's going to pop here to get too close to Rubik, but Rubik actually pulls back. He's doing a stack. Oh, that's unfortunate timing. And now they're going to make it go. 40R retreats up and high and above. He's got a haste rune. How lucky is that? He'll turn the corner. And look who it is. Invoker steps in with a nice rotation. Tornado flies out. And now they turn their sights on Sna. Sna, whoa, barely steps out from the EMP, but 40R still under pressure for now. And even Tide wants to get on the action. He's not level 6 yet, does not have Ravage. And it looks like Sna will barely make his escape. So, bit of a small, footsie, flirting play in the mid lane from both sides with pretty decent rotations from both parts. And no one is going to hit the deck. Still only the one kill now at about 7 minutes, near 8 minutes in. Very slow-paced game. Fantastic. MJW now is a one-on-one matchup here with Mr. Baga, who is going to try to take a little bit of advantage of this solo time to try to get closer to that level 6, benefiting from the multi. I'm curious to see if he's one that favors more levels in Ignite before he reaches his level 6, or if he's one about the Fire Blast. It's pretty much split down the middle between true Ogre players as far as which is the supreme, whether it's the more reliable damage Ignite, or if it's the potential stun and burst that Fire Blast could bring with your multicast. You know, it was tweaked recently. Part of the reason why he's buffed now, in addition to that 2.5 health regen, the now 40% chance at that level 1 to get multis is pretty sweet. Morphling still out in front, along with Mirana as far as CS goes. 50 for Morph, 47 for Infinity, who I imagine's got not only his phase boots, Aquila also getting the Brazers. He's going for like the typical Naga kind of a build himself. He's going to go right for the drums. Extra mobility and survivability, because if you're not going to get treads, of course, and you go for the phase and the right click, you're going to need something to bring in a little bit of meat on the bones. Long hook shot, first one of the game. Not going to catch particularly on Tide, unfortunately, and he will pull back. Tide is still not level 6. Does get it right there, so the gank is going to get a little more trickier. Though if he does get a hold of him, Battery Assault would be able to potentially lock him in his place. Does he have a level in it? He does, at least one level. So that can prevent anyone from getting anything off like your Naga Song and like your Ravage. Naga's still no level into her ultimate, doing with the 404 build. Not bothering with, obviously, the Ensnare, but no ultimate. Instead moves forward, gets a nice Riptide there on SN's Morph. And for Morphling, he went Midas. He's going the Greed build. And you know what? He might need it in this kind of a game. And looking to come in, Ned. Whew, the quick sight right there prompts SN to quickly waveform away before he can get caught out with the telekinesis and potentially anything else. MJW's got another 18 seconds before he's got the hook shot ready to go. For now, he's just kind of roaming it about. Invested even more in that rocket flare, man. And they might go again here on top lane. They push out a couple of arcane bolts to keep the Tidehunter back. There's another one. Damn that freaking Skywrath mage. He's so damn good at zoning back. And they're going to start to lay in some extra bit of damage right now on this tower. Alright, here they go. Nice arrow catches, and they will be able to bring him down on the back of that Starfall right there. But Infinity with no more mana. Telekinesis, Tornado, the whole kit and caboodle to bring him down. And it looks like Pain Gaming are going to be able to get themselves on the board. They commit quite the rotation to get it done. 3 people from all over have to get in on the fight to get a bit of a redemption right there. Infinity does go down. He doesn't get his gold spent in time, but he does almost have his drums. But they take down the Tidehunter a peg. He has his arcane boots, but I'd love to be able to get a hold of instead that Blink Dagger, which, look at these sweet stacks. One day, I will once have enough invested in both my Kraken Shell and my Anchor Smash so that I may be able to farm up that sweet stack and get that much closer to my Blink Dagger. But speaking of mobility, look at this. Invoker got a 4-staff already. It's a nice quick snag for him. And now they're going to smoke up. Let's blaze it, boys. It's past 4:20, but we got to get the job done. And they might look for a gank on mid lane. And they would love to take this Morphling down. Midas is at its weakest right after you get it. So that with the Aquila might not be enough to make him live. They could time things out nicely. Tornado would be a great way to start it out. It's a quick initiation. Do they have... Oh, nice force forward, though, on Ned instead. Telekinesis. Can they lock him in his place? Moonlight Shadow comes out, but Ravage. Oh, and the timing of Cyclone is more than enough to bring down that Morphling. They get what they wanted out of this gank, but let's see if they can get anything back. Lust is right in the heat of the fight there with the Sandstorm, and they will lose their support Rubik, but still a well-worthy trade for Pain Gaming. They commit a nice smoke gank. They use a lot of lockdown and heavy burst where Morphling can't even get away, and they get it done. Infinity does secure, however, the Tier 1 tower on top, which kind of makes it break even at that point. And Pain Gaming have to pull off. All right, let's switch to some network.
Middle tower is under
Morphling and
attack.
Mirana still at the top for now. And right behind him is going to be Naga. And Naga actually has a really good set of farm for herself. 2,500 gold. She's blitzing right towards that sweet little relic. Could get it in a reasonable amount of time. Radiance, that is. 20 minutes would be ideal. SN. Oh, wow, and Rubik took the arrow. Snags that arrow from the top lane. He could put some nice use to that later on. And Infinity might have to let his team know. Keep an eye out for arrow. It's not mine. So 40R taking advantage of those illusions, farming out their own side. And Baga is now on the hunt. He's got a dust ready to go. Oh, but he eats an arrow on the way in. And they continue pressing forward. And with that arrow stopping promptly there, that kind of gives out the intel to Infinity and gang that there's a smoke gank coming. Someone's invis somewhere. And they brought down a sentry. There's no ward actually in that area. But they're still creeping. They are still creeping in the mid area. And for Infinity, they have their own sentry right in the mid lane.
Is under attack.
And it looks like instead they're trying to see if they can catch out anyone. Maybe the Sand King, could be jungling, but that's not the case. Sand King actually already has his blink, and he's looking to put that blink to use right now. He pops his own smoke, and he's shifting on through. But they also are not going to find anyone. But meanwhile, they're making it go potentially on mid lane. He already invests the waveform forward, but he has plenty of time to use that replicate, and he asserts himself down to the bottom lane, where they're going to add pressure on that tier 1. So Pain Gaming don't find any gank with their smoke. Oh, Infinity at the high ground. Hi. Hello. Yeah, you're not on the same team. Quick Burrow follows up. Baga eats the arrow as well. And an arrow return. Ned putting that stolen arrow in the multi. Oh, Infinity's in big trouble. He might die to the ignite, and he will. Oh, wow. Nice turnaround, but here we go. MJW jumps in, pops the cogs, catches him in place, and now King RD eating big damage from the battery assault and the sandstorm right there from Lust. And they get a nice return kill on the Invoker. Another arrow flies out from Rubik. He's 2 for 2 on these arrows. And they catch Lust. He's moving on in. And Baga wants to take the chance to maybe get out on his own multi once more. So Mirana falls. So does Invoker. I have to say that it works slightly better for Pain Gaming, as Mirana just kind of adds a little more late game potential. But still, nonetheless, 4-3 advantage here for Infinity, as SN continues to farm out this bottom lane. He has his Midas still working. 1,700 gold. We'll see if he goes for the early Lincolns, though Lincolns can be a bit questionable this game. Maybe he just goes straight for a BKB. I think that would offer a lot more. I mean, Ravage, everything Invoker has, Ogre, Rubik, Naga's Song. I think you just go for a BKB if you're morphling this game, and not with your atypical. Maybe he just goes right for Ethblade. Who even knows? All that and more in a moment. Nope, he's going for Lincolns. Screw you, caster. So he's going to go for the Lincolns
is under attack.
as he grabs the Perseverance right there. Tide, I want my Blink Dagger. And he's going to start to farm it on out in the jungle and try to get there. He's very close. Very close. Less than 100 gold away. Is he just going to walk back to base and wait for it? He might. Yeah, he's going to wait the minute, it looks like, for the gold to come in and get a hold of that Blink Dagger. And that might be the turning point for Pain Gaming, get a big team fight off now. Bottom lane, though. Mystic Flare trying to get a hold of King RD, who quickly makes a jump at it, but nope, runs right into the hook. They even dropped the sentry for it. That might have been a blind hook that caught, and then they just kind of secured it with the sentry follow-up. Nice grab right there. MJW takes down the Invoker, and King RD falls back-to-back times now. And after that Force Staff, it's going to be a little bit. It looks like he's going to proceed on forward to get an Orchid for himself. Arrow is still on Rubik, and he puts it to use very nicely on this Morphling. Another multi right now. And they're not going to invest the Ravage to try to finish him off, though. He just gets the Replicate off, and he returns right up to the top area. Man. And that was the last. That was the last of the arrow. He used it, and look at this. He got Morph. Probably one of the best abilities you can take as a Rubik. And it doesn't look like he's changing over stats quite yet. But you can definitely send a fair amount of agility into your strength. And that's permanent.
Tower is under attack.
You would love that. Look at this, MJW. Look at this precious Naga. This is a tricky kill. Naga does have her song now. And, maybe with a proper battery assault, she could do the dance of no song. The what the fuck dance. Yes. Pressure coming towards mid lane. King RD, they know something's happening here. They scout out Lust. MJW trying to help out his allies, but they blink right past that Cogs, and they get a nice Ravage off to finish what they started. Sand King falls, and now they turn their sights on MJW. And they are just both in the wrong neck of the woods at this point. Pain, we're conveniently all nearby. They converge, and they take down 2. Nice grab right there, and Pain even the playing field as far as kills go. 5-5 at about 17 minutes in. Gold only slightly now in the favor of Infinity Stack. But still, somewhere in the world, Infinity himself farming it on up. He's going right for the Maelstrom. Not getting any sort of early survivability. Instead, this is just going to help the farm quite a bit. Of course, the damage, the attack speed certainly doesn't hurt either. But I wonder if eventually she'll consider investing in maybe some survivability. You know, she could even get a Lincoln's herself. Who even knows? Morphling still at the top of net worth. But Naga now second. He's only ahead about 800 gold. Still putting that Midas to use. He's got nearly
Radiant's
2k.
middle tower is
It looks
under
like they're on the
attack.
hunt. They see Baga. Arrow, not going to catch. It's obviously going to hit the neutral camp right there. Meanwhile, mid lane, Infinity opening up on this tier 1 tower. Would love to get it, but look who's coming on in here. You still have another blink on your tide. No Ravage, obviously, but their defenses aren't as strong as they were before in that previous
Radiant's middle
engagement.
tower is under
So they
attack.
might have to just glyph it and let this
Radiant's
tower go.
structures are fortified.
Maybe try to sneak in for a deny. Nah, they're not thinking about it. Oh, look at this. Lust catches out Bog on the side. Pulls out the Epi, but Ogre's pretty fat. But now with MJW jumping in, that's a pretty easy grab. They take down the support Ogre. Infinity pull back ahead once more. 6-5. And they're finding some sweet little side pickoffs. And man, MJW doing a nice job with these hook shots. But Pain Gaming with that Naga factor, you never really know. And let's check out what she's got. Yep, it's a Radiance. Reasonably timed as well. Looks like they tried to get a hold of potentially the top lane, but they're not going to get anyone. But yeah, 40R, man. This guy's Radiance already. He might even had it a couple of minutes ago. Nice quick timing for that. And the farm is just going to continue to build up and get a bit out of control at this point. And Infinity, I don't know if that's something that they want to really contest later on. I'm really curious what they're going to offer. As far as clearing out the illusions, Mirana's got her Starstorm nuke can work. Obviously, Sand King has a Sandstorm. That could certainly help with a Burrow Strike. Clockwork, I guess, rockets are going to work pretty nicely, but you know, it's not something as sweet as maybe like a a Lion, where your stun and your mana drain can kind of instantly remove illusions, which could work good. Oh, they find out King RD. The Moonlight Shadow is going to aid him for now, but they do have that dust, which they pop. MJW cogs himself into a living death. Now Infinity leaps on forward. He's persistent. Can he get a hold of King RD? He does. Wow, that Chain Lightning proc certainly does help. They take a 2-for-1 trade thus far, and they're not done yet. Looking to press on in. 3 more seconds. He has another arrow. Can he channel his inner Cupid? Oh, eats a Fire Blast. Lust has a Burrow Strike. Gets it. Arrow follow-up. They get Baga if they want it, but look who's jumping on in. It's Tidehunter. And Ogre, just a little too meaty at this point, and he's going to be able to make a getaway. And Sna. Oh, the Anchor Smash cleans him out from the side. The no-look Anchor Smash coming out from Gren. Gets a nice return kill, making it 2 for 2. He's not done yet. Jump forward. Gush. Oh, Infinity says, let's bring it. And he gets it done. Nicely job right there. Nicely job. Nice job right there. And nicely done. From your Infinity. Mirana takes down the Tide and makes it a 3 for 2. This thing's not right. 3 for 2 at the end of that one. Benefit for Infinity Stack. And, well, they're making it go on SN. Gets caught with a Tornado. EMP. Not going to catch as he just quickly replicates him over to the Secret Shop area. They ping it out. They know what's happening. But look who jumping in with a nice Epicenter. Gets a reasonable amount of damage. This Cog could catch 2, but he doesn't pull it out yet. Instead, pops his Blade Mail. And they finish out the Rubik, who dies back-to-back times in team fights. And they want Baga. This time they do get him. And another 2 takedown for Infinity. So all day, making a what? 1 for 4? Numbers are hard.
And it's off.
But they don't get a hold of Morphling. And at the same time, you got to remember Pain Gaming are doing this without Naga. It's pretty much a 4 versus 5. But that's what's important. Naga needs to be able to have that space, farm up. She can't really contest a whole lot in these fights, except maybe pulling out a song to either aid or help isolate someone. But You know, for now, she's got her early essentials. The Boots of Travel now complete. It looks like she's going to go for the Yasha into a potential Manta. And then once she starts building up the health, maybe with a heart, and at that point, we finally might be able to see Naga really contribute a lot. And it could be well enough for Pain Gaming to just take the game back if they're losing a lot in the mid-game. As long as they're not losing too many towers, which, to be honest, they have lost all Tier 1s. Tier 2's still to stand. And Infinity would love to get a hold of those bad boys. Net worth is still in their favor. Not too crazy. You know, only about 3K. But your Morphling has his Lincolns complete near 1,200 gold. And we'll see where he takes it from here. Could go straight for stats and Scotty to contest the heavy durability that Naga could bring, or I guess a shotgun could work. I don't know, though. Not really this game. It's too hard to find the proper target on someone like Naga, and some of her support staff is pretty beefy. I mean, Tidehunter and Ogre, pretty big. Rubik would be an easy shot, but it could also work nicely to kind of avoid the extra physical damage coming out from that Naga, but we'll have to see what tickles Essence fancy. Bottom lane, Smoke Gate coming out right now by Infinity and company. Infinity in lane, maybe probably going to use that as a bait. So he press on in. He's got Maelstrom, obviously complete, but with near 2k gold, we'll see if he decides to invest straight into the Mjolnir grab, or if he just holds the reliable Maelstrom in the meantime. And they're actually going to scout out some 40 yard here. Blink forward, Epi Burrow Strike, boom! They take down that pesky little Naga before she can get anything done. The silence certainly helps. And that is just a quick hit and run from Infinity stack. And 40R gets taken down for the first time this game. And they would love to get that more often than not to make sure she does not continue to build up all those additional funds. But she does have that Yasha. Meanwhile, they make a nice jump. They catch out Ned. Ned in the wrong area. They get it done. He had stolen Sandstorm, and they conveniently had the dust available. Very nice stuff. That dust was probably held for Invoker in case he was to Ghost Walk. And they also secure the Tier 2 on bottom. So Infinity doing what they need to. They're finding the pickoffs. They get the prize Naga, and they're still taking objectives. It's going very nicely right now for them. And Pain are just still trying to make sure that they can allow their Naga to get to a pinnacle point. Now King RD runs in with the Ghost Walk. Infinity gets a nice 4-staff assistance. Had finished out the Mjolnir, but is now under heavy pressure. Multi comes through there for Naga, and they do secure the kill on the bottom. And top lane, still split push happening. 40R comes in with his Boots of Travel, eats a few licks there from Morphling. He's not going to be too deterred by that. He has his Replicate already out. And, well, get out of my face, lady. Shoves it right back with the Agnum Scepter. It looks like they were trying to scout out and see if any aggressive wards were placed. Rubik is sporting 3 of them, so they had a lot of wards on hand to kind of take down. They're going to see that some of their creeps have been taken apart, and they're going to ping on forward and see if they can get a hold of anyone. Sna has about 1k available on reserve with only a null talisman. He's been kind of the ward guy for now. Sand King has his tool belt pretty much together. The Blink and the 4-staff now complete. The high mobile gap closer, and Sand King proves to be a strong initiator. We saw him lead off the charge on that Naga pickoff. And with Epicenter up and available, they smoke up, and they might look to make something happen here. Top tower's being pressured from those Naga illusions. It's brought down very, very low. They still have the Glyphin available, and they could deny it right here if they want to, and you might need to consider it. Just to take that extra bit of gold away before Naga tries to sneak in like a behind-the-back illusion or something. Oh, here comes the smoke, and Ned, how are ya? Concussive shot, can't get off the silence in time. Arrow, though, is going to be right there, and it takes little to no effort to finish off that Rubik support. And 40R presses on through. And EMP, as Invoker tries to get a hold. Infinity actually loses his mana because of that, but they still want to fight. They press on back, and they got to be kind of cautious about this one. Meanwhile, bottom, they're making a move on through. Morphling gets caught out. Pretty low on life and mana. But they don't have a whole lot of resources. Plus, Pain Gaming don't have the Ravage available quite yet. 20 more seconds and it will be. But it's enough to zone them all the way back. So they kind of just move in, and all that effort, they only take down the one Rubik still. Not as much as I'm sure they would like, but Pain Gaming happy that they don't lose a whole lot aside from their support. Naga still thriving, farming up as quick as ever. Looking to contest Morphling's top spot as far as the net worth king.
Dire's
She's about
bottom tower
3k
is being
herself.
denied.
And Morphling, who has his own Yasha, actually looks to build up a Manta himself. So we're going to have a battle of the illusions. And we'll dish on out. Meanwhile,
Dire's
bottom,
top tower
Infinity.
is under attack.
You know, if they're going to have to go against the one prized, oh boy, here we go, getting caught out. Orchid going to be right there, and the cold snap. He desperately throws his self-Mjolnir here, but with that tornado, they secure the easy kill. Orchid just kind of makes it all the easier. And unfortunately for Infinity, felt pretty confident farming in that lane, but didn't quite have the vision to see
Dire's
everyone
top
coming his
tower
way,
has fallen.
and he gets caught out pretty easily. But what I was going to say is, the one thing Infinity have is they have two contenders for the late game, that being Infinity's Mirana and Essen's Morphling, whereas Pain Gamer are kind of putting all their eggs into the Naga basket, which might be enough. I mean, Naga now claims top net worth and finishes out that Manta. And Burrow Strike going to try to take down these Naga illusions, who's getting in there and taking away the jungle. And this is just when the Naga plague just really begins to spread. Now imagine her building towards that heart. And it's going to be a lot harder to take down those illusions. And it gets a lot scarier. And that Radiance Burn could prove to be a bit of a problem for some of your blinking in heroes like your Sand King. But they still have Clockwork, who's going to be right there with proper initiation. Hookshot's not going to be deterred too much by Radiance. And he's actually, it looks like he's going for a BKB. And they want bottom. King RD sees that rocket and immediately ghosts up. I wonder if they're going to just pop a sporadic dust or something, or maybe throw down a sentry. Ooh, they're moving through. Pings are there. They might see where Lust is. Yeah, they ping him right on the dot. They're going to flank him. They move on. And how's it going? Orchid! They're going to blow him the hell up. And before he goes, they take a sandstorm right there. That was unfortunate. This ward pings out exactly where Sand King is. And with the benefit of that Orchid, man, Invoker has been getting kill after kill with it. And now quickly makes a nice item investment. He got the ultimate orb. He's going to go right for a sheep. Pain Gaming, man, they're still going toe-to-toe with Infinity in this mid-game, where Infinity should really be striving, or hoping to strive. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Rubik is going to fall. That's just a quick hood shot, Cog, and Mystic Flare follow-up. You know, you didn't want to see that anyways. We'll draw his body line. I died right there. Quick and easy combo. Meanwhile, oh, bit of a tiff here on the Titans. 40R. Right-clicking down SN. SN quickly waveforms back before help comes in, which it was. You know, King RD with his Quaxwex build. Look how fast he moves. He's a hustler. Uh-oh. He's going to see him. The Orchid, though, is going to be used on the Lincolns. That's not going to work out. Even the Moonlight Shadow, though, going to be popped out for this one. I was going to see if they were going to use it as a counter initiation. That does not seem to be the case. And it's actually going to be a Diffusal pickup next for Naga. Diffusal, huh? Interesting. Trying to see. I guess it removes the Ancient Seal Silence. But outside of that, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Regardless, I guess a Purge is a Purge, and it doesn't hurt too much either way, and it adds a bit extra attack speed and right-click for herself, but I would wager at this point you kind of build up a little bit of extra sustain and life. And they're farming it up. They ping it out. They're creeping forward. They have this nice ops ward here to kind of see what the movement actually is, and they're pinging. Because Smoked Up is going to be Pain Gaming, looking to scout anything out, and we might see a bit of a rumble by this Roche pit. Roche has been up. Still the first fresh Roche available in the game, and either team would love to be able to grab this. But, you know, Butterfly is still also an option here for Naga, but that puts more pressure on an MKB grab to be here on either your Morphling and or Mirana. They're already busy investing in else. It looks like Mirana is going to go for the BKB now. I mean, unless that's going to be a Desolator. She's got one hammer. She does have enough for a second hammer if that's what she's going for, but I imagine the BKB would be something she should really consider, as she's already shown the Orchid has proved to be a problem, which is nice, you know, to have something like a Manta eventually, but Morphling actually has a Scotty now. Man, that came out of nowhere. So he has some really nice stats. Still not king of the net worth. Naga is pushing her lead in net worth further and further ahead, near 20K now. And Pain Gaming are just inching slowly the overall team net worth back in their favor. Now only a 2,500 gold lead for Infinity's stack, and neither team really looking to do the Roche whatsoever. Instead, it's most of Pain Game
Dire's
on this
middle
bottom
tower
lane
is
congregated,
under attack.
looking to push on in. All those frickin' illusions keep spreading, taking away the farm, not only from her own team, but also taking it away from the side of Infinity. Rubik was in there. Did he place a ward? He did. He's got a nice little aggressive ward placed right here to allow a little bit of extra vision, as Snod is just like standing right on it. Does not have a sentry on hand to kind of deward. They're pinging it right there as if it might be dropped. Meanwhile, mid lane, they get the tornado. ENT's not going to be there, and they will take off the Lincolns. He uses the Orchid again on the Lincoln Sphere. And waveform is going to be taken right there from Ned. And Moran did finish out that BKB, so went with the BKB build. I think that's the better grab. And now maybe she'll have the opportunity to really open up with some damage. It's not the biggest yet, but if she does consider going with the MKB build next, that way it would kind of thwart any sort of butterfly grab that Naga could be going for, which, my God, you look away one moment, you look back at her, and she is just rich beyond all frickin' hell. 4,300 gold. I mean, from the time I clicked on her, she's already inherited near 500 gold just based on her illusions doing work in the Infinity jungle. I mean, I went and checked on her. She had 4K. Now she has 4.5K. That just gives you an idea that Naga is the best farmer in the game. Once she starts getting a couple of these items online, it's just ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And she gets to her 6th slot so quick before anyone else. That's their point to kind of turn it around. And then it becomes more pressure here on Infinity to pull out a good game plan with proper execution to take it back. But with a good backing behind this Naga, like your Tidehunter Ravage and Invoker with his crowd control, it's looking like it might be a bit scary here for Infinity to pull it back, as it just slowly inches back towards the even mark, and Naga just puts her lead a little further ahead. It's going to be rough here, and it could also result in some sort of split push tactics, rat play, but Naga's okay with that as well. Send one simple illusion to a lane, and you're going to be removing a whole creep wave that easily. And there you go, there's the Reaver. So not going to be the butterfly grab. She still has one more slot if she wants to go with the butterfly, but looking to finish out her heart instead. And the heart's complete, just like that. Jesus Christ. Oh, she's pressing on in. Not looking to get aggressive yet. I mean, she's still only sporting a 2-1-1. But that gets scary for someone like Snot. Even one illusion can do serious damage to this little puny Skywrath mage. Little feathered freak. 910
Boom,
life.
there it goes.
And nearby, King RD scouting it out. But they see him. They see him with that sentry. Pop in. Oh, he gets away. Nice force. Puts some distance between him and that epicenter, and he makes a quick-footed escape with that Ghost Walk. And meanwhile, Naga just kind of steps in, sleeps everyone, makes a TP out, and leaves her illusions behind. And look even the damage it does here on Infinity. He's forced to pull out the Mjolnir. Sna has to get assistance and forced away. I don't know, man. Pain Gaming. Like all of their other games, though, they have a very nice lead working in their favor, but it seems like every game something just seems to go wrong, and it just falls apart. This one, though, looks pretty strong. They have a very nice game plan here on the back of this Naga that seems to be working pretty nicely. I mean, 40R has a... I mean, you couldn't ask for a better Naga game if you're a Naga fan. Gets caught out only one time. Not too shabby in a position that she really couldn't prevent unless they had proper vision. So Adaptive Strike to kind of do extra damage on that illusion bottom. Look how much work it even takes the Morphling to take down that illusion. Now that his heart. Scary stuff. And I wonder if he's just going to go right for the Manta next. Infinity. It's got a haste bottle up near 2K gold. Yet to make a new item investment right now. And they could just keep waiting on out. Because this Tidehunter, he's about to have his Refresher. And with an Arcane, he has the mana to make it work. That's even scarier right now for Pain Gaming, where we'll only have the 2 BKBs on their 2 cores. For everyone else behind them, they are going to be stuck in a huge ravage. 2 ravages. Holy moly. And Pain Gaming are putting together a strong game plan. Still no Rosh. No one cares about this guy right here. No one frickin' cares. No one's touched it yet. Just too scary right now. It's going to be too easily scouted out with either a replicate or, of course, you know, a Naga illusion. And either team is not really considering the opportunity of kind of throwing a potential lead away. And now they're going to waltz down this bottom lane. Wow, arrow actually almost catches there on Naga, but it's going to be off the mark. As Infinity leads the charge, they need to make sure they have proper vision. King RD has been a strong initiator and constantly moving around on this Ghost Walk. He's so quick, hustling about. And that's it, man. Separation of farm. I mean, with that Naga grab and Morphling, we were expecting it, you know, near the 40-minute mark, and we only have about 26 kills in. It's not really a high-octane kind of a game. More tactical and methodical from both teams. Morphling now completes out that boot to travel. Arrow flies, and it's just going to fly to no one. And they actually ping out the Rosh. Maybe Infinity are considering going for a move in. Ooh, a double damage rune. Oh, this would make it a lot easier, that's for sure. And as far as ward coverage, I'm not seeing any of it. Certainly not on the Pain Gaming side. So they're going to go right for it. Morph's going to grab that. DD, put it right to use right now. The Cog is actually going to make Rosh kind of walk around a bit and not dish out any damage. They take it down real quick. So that was a nice play coming out from Infinity. They take a Rosh from behind the back of Pain Gaming. And it's going to be Infinity who picks it up. And meanwhile, your King RD does finish out that sheep stick. Extra CC for him. Okay, things get more interesting here. We're right at the even mark now from both teams. 15-11, kill advantage towards Infinity, but as far as net worth, Naga's still ahead, but only by 2k right now, above this Morphling. After that Rosh grab, it definitely helps close the gap quite a bit, but after the Naga, it's about like a 10k deficit between her and their next big core, which is King RD on this Invoker. But his job isn't really to put out the reliable damage, it's more to just kind of zone, crowd control, lock down, use the sheep, CC, do what you got to do, not really do the hefty right click. So, you know, Infinity could have that advantage where they have 2 heroes that could be doing some pretty big damage. I mean, it looks like she is going to go right for an MKB. So if, yeah, and she is going to go for Butterfly. So they anticipate the Butterfly, they're going to have MKB ahead of time to kind of deal with the evasion. But they might make a go here. Nice early sheep, catches Infinity. Infinity might be in trouble. Blinking Ravage prevents Lust from getting anything off. They do the refresher, the second Ravage. Infinity will be able to come back with the Aegis, but Lust, not so lucky. He goes down. Infinity pops the BKB and the Moonlight Shadow and makes a quick and hasty retreat. MJW misses his hookshot in from behind, but waving on in, and back from the dead is the Lust Epicenter, which quickly takes down King RD and Baga. And pressing on in, not caring about the song, is going to be Morph with that full duration BKB. He continues to press on. Adaptive strike right there, but now Telekinesis Ned says, stay away from my queen, as he sandstorms himself into the corner, but not done yet. They want 40 yards blood, and they take her down. Now with 4.2 gauge, she still has plenty of money for a buyback. They turn their attention back towards Ned in that Sandstorm. We're going to need some help here. Sandstorm on Sandstorm action. The double Darude. Shove him in the corner. God, he still Sandstorm. Just freaking arrow him. They get it done right there. Jesus Christ. Space created, says the Rubik, as it prevents Infinity from going for a very aggressive push. As Tidehunter's the lone survivor right there. Did expend a couple of Ravages rather quickly. Maybe should have ideally held out the second Ravage a little bit longer for Lust's return and the second life of Infinity, but nonetheless, it starts out pretty promising from, but a huge return counter initiation from Infinity stack, and now they're opening up on this tier 2 tower. Naga is not going to need to use her buyback, so that's a lot of gold she can save and finish out her Butterfly with. Infinity pretty low right now. Got to finish what you started, though. Takes down that tier 2 and ducks on back. The mid tier 2 also fell, so that's all outer towers right now for Pain Gaming. So the next time they come on top of a fight like that, they can look to go for the high ground. But they will have to take down Naga 2 different times. So I imagine from this point on, 40R is going to constantly make sure he reserves a bit of buyback money. And that BKB going right through the song certainly helped. Wise itemization coming out from Infinity's team, and it looks like Infinity himself has his MKB. So even before Naga finishes her butterfly, he is well and prepared. And I imagine Morphling might consider the same thing. He still has that Yasha reliable. He actually has his own butterfly. And that's a nice grab because no one's getting an MKB on the side of Pain unless she sells, I don't know, the Diffusal and goes for an MKB herself. She's not going to be doing very big damage to Morphling. I really like this grab. And now if he can put together his own MKB, Pain Gaming are going to have some pretty good damage to contest this Naga, I'd have to say. Though they are always going to have the struggle of, I thought I heard an Epi go off. No, that's not the case. They're always going to have to deal with the struggle of Naga and her big split push with those illusions. And there's your butterfly, now available, with still plenty of gold for a buyback. They press on towards the top lane. This time Infinity is not going to have the benefit of that Aegis. And a double Ravage is already available again. That seems like that came up pretty quick, but they got it ready to go. And they jump. They want to get a hold of Morphling. They use both Ravages back-to-back to get it all done. And Snot quickly falls to the heavy wrath of that Naga Siren. But he pops his own BKB. It looks like Tidehunter's very low. The support scavenge from the high ground, and they might have to just pull back after taking down the one support. And I don't think Infinity are too worried about that. Because Pain Gaming just blew 2 big Ravages to have SN use, I think, his second charge, yeah, on his BKB, and they only take down the Skywrath Mage. I don't think that's too terrible. Now Infinity can kind of regroup and maybe go for an assault on their own, knowing that that big team fight's not going to be there. We'll see if that's going to be the game plan as Morphling continues to farm on up. He now has 3.1k. I wouldn't mind seeing him get his own MKB here. And it looks like Clockwork's got his reliable point booster. And he also has his own BKB. So that song, that Ravage, not going to matter a whole damn lot.
Dire's top tower
Same with anything
is under
Invoker
attack.
dishes out, anything the Ogre dishes out. Rubik, man, oh man, as the BKBs begin to come online here for the side of Infinity, it's just starting to look better and better. Their item builds, man, they're working very nicely. And I am curious to see what Morphling's going to do at this point. If he's just going to kind of finish out his Manta, or if he wants to get a little bit of that true damage and break through the evasion of Naga. And for Naga, you know, we could see a 7-slot Naga. You know, you can always throw the BKB or a refresher or something onto your courier.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And they pull back. Or Infinity could have just waited out for the Roche to come right back up, but it looks like Pain Gaming want to finish out this Tier 2 on the top. All Tier 2 is still standing, by the way, for Infinity's stack. But they're creeping on through their own jungle right now. They have a smoke. They still have a Moonlight Shadow to follow it up with if they want. And they have a gem, though, on Invoker. Oh, smoke popped. MJW. Can he get the hook shot? He's waiting to pull it. Force Staff's well and away. Arrow is not going to scout anyone. Actually, will. It's going to be too late. Baga is going to make it out. It's going to be too late for any hookshot there. And the Moonlight Shadow was used. So they're not going to find the opportunity. They quickly take down what looked like the ward. Could have been a sentry. Could have been obs. I don't know. I didn't see it in time. Whatever. And Infinity are not going to get anything out of that aggressive
bottom tower
push
is under
back.
attack.
Naga is just constantly pushing out these side lanes, but the wave clearing ain't too bad here. I mean, Infinity's putting in overtime, clearing them on home. Did he just buy something? He's only got 900 gold. What's this? Alright, so that's the Manta complete now on your Morphling. But I thought she would have bought something. Oh, she got the Helm of the Dominator. Wow, going for Satanic on this Mirana. Alright. She's looking to just duke it out and have the sustain to do so. As it looks like Pain Gaming are pinging out Roche. They kind of want to scout the area. King RD is just that little spy. What do I spy here? I'm going to go ahead and keep scouting on out. Can you just stay in camera, you fool?
Dire's top
Lingering
tower
in the
is
side
under
shop.
attack.
Oh boy, this could get interesting. Infinity are going right down the middle, and if he gets caught out
Dire's
this
middle
time,
tower
which
has
he
fallen.
could, he does not have an Aegis. Here he goes, nice instant sheep. They follow it up. He has double Ravage also. They can't save Infinity. He gets taken down immediately, as Ned also gets taken down, plus the Tidehunter. Your SN, Morphling, quickly cleans out 2. Naga is not involved in this fight. Instead, she is pushing out the top lane and going right for the high ground and add a little bit of extra damage onto that tier 3. They take it 3 for 2 all day, as Sna is also to fall on the side of Infinity, but they take down both supports plus the Tidehunter on the side of Pain Gaming. 40 are not looking to get involved with that, trying to rat it out a bit on the side. Infinity quickly notice after that fight and engagement, they pull back. Not looking to pull back yet. It's Morphling. Creeping towards the high ground. It's only Invoker here
Dire's
to defend.
top tower is
He
under
starts
attack.
unleashing the right-click Fury. And, well, he's trying desperately to stop him. Gets the sheep, but that tier 3 is going to fall. And it gets done. Wow. It looks like Naga's Illusions actually took down MJW inside the
Radiant's
base.
bottom tower
Oh
has
boy, oh
fallen.
boy. That's not good. Regardless, though, Morphling does find his own tier 3 takedown, so they do kind of have the advantage as far as objectives go. Doing the first real damage inside the base of Pain Gaming. And remember, that was all without having Infinity involved in the fight. He was the one that was picked off right at the start. Can't get overzealous like that unless you do happen to have the Aegis. Which, speaking of the devil, Roshan is back up and available. It's only the second one, so it will fall pretty damn quick. So I'm curious to see which team is going to want to take advantage on moving in. I mean, Tidehunter too, man. Looks like he's going to build up Shivas. Not too shabby. He used only 1 Ravage, it looks like, in that previous engagement, preserving the refresher. This Naga Illusion's got
Invisibility.
how much gold she got? She got near 10k gold. What are you going to spend that money on, girl? Gonna go for that 7th slot? You gonna sell that diffusal and put a MKB in your pocket? We'll see. Oh, look at this. It's Infinity. We're gonna once again try to quickly take down this Roche. And Pain Gaming, it doesn't look like they want to bother with that. They're gonna go right for what looks like the push on the top lane. Naga heads right in. The rest of the crew nearby, they gotta take this quick and TP out. And they're gonna get into the pocket of Infinity one more time. And they're gonna blitz right towards the top of their base. But already in there is 40R, and he quickly takes down that tier 3. MJW right in the fray. Moonlight Shadows helping temporarily, but Pain might even consider pulling back. They're not fully committed on the retreat yet. Arrow's going to fly. Woo! King RD almost walks into it. Not going to be close enough yet. Alright, so now square even. A tier 3 for a tier 3 as far as base damage goes. But now, with Infinity having this Aegis, they might feel pretty comfortable going for a fight. They have 2 Ravages, though, on the side of Pain, but with all these BKBs, their duration is slowly going down. Properly timed BKBs, though. Man, oh my god!
Dire's
Jesus!
Dire's
Naga!
top ranks has fallen.
Just the rags crumble like paper! Like a house of cards. Just tops them right over. She is just doing way too much damage. Almost takes down Sand King. Sna, let alone. Just very susceptible to eating way too much damage alone. Oh boy, so Pain Gaming. Take down 2 sets of racks. That's just Naga and her illusions doing the work. And Infinity really need to make something happen here. They got the Aegis up and available. They need to try to take a hate fight, but first they got to get rid of all these freaking creeps. Get them out from the base. Push somewhere. Naga's not going to let it happen. She pushes in bottom now. Trying to take down quickly this tier 2 tower, but Infinity's right there with his own right click to quickly take down those illusions. While top lane, King RD moves in, sees the leftover Manto illusions of Morphling, and is trying to deal with those. Morphling himself mid lane now. Pushing on in. He has 8.6k. On your big cores, we got buybacks here on your Morphling, on your Naga. Infinity needs about 1k gold for a buyback. King RD, Gren on his Tidehunter also has buyback, and even Baga. So buybacks well in favor of Pain Gaming. While Infinity is just quickly trying to throw together a little bit of extra money. He's at 660 to go. Naga, man, look how much he's pulled ahead. 41k net worth for herself. Morphling at 37k, and Infinity at 21. And this might be their play, man. Those illusions slowly creeping down, and now a Necro book even getting in on the pushing action for the side of Pain Gaming. What are they doing? They're making a go on SN here in the top lane, and he uses that replicate to go right back towards the bottom now. I don't know if Pain Gaming no Morphlings here yet. Moonlight Shadow's going to be popped, but it's not like a weak Snize. That's just from the added bit of damage. I don't know if this is a tactical pause. And oh, it is going to be a 7th slot refresher orb. Oh boy, okay. Oh, not just that. She also has that Necro book. Oh, that's double. If she gets a second book, that's double Necro. Which she could get. I mean, she can't afford it right now, but she has to hold some gold for buyback. But that's double Song, double Necro book, double Manta. In her 7th slot. Actually, make it 8 slots all day. Holy moly. King RD, man. Pulling together for the Pain Gaming squad as we're still in a pause here for Infinity, man. I would love to just take this game home. We have been sweating it out long enough, but I'm ready, man. About an hour in to this one. Both teams ready. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up, kids. We got to find out which team's going to be walking away with the win. Will Infinity push on to be 4-1 in the Summit 2? Or will Pain Gaming finally get their first win here and end up being 1-3? These questions will be answered. Hopefully not too long. And Lust preventing the push on mid, but they can't even get into the base. Oh, too late. Sorry, 40R. That song is not going to catch up with anyone. She's just going to be singing to herself. She does have the refresher, and it's only 60 seconds, so I guess that's not too bad. But really hoping on getting someone caught out right there. But it's not the last one to retreat. Makes a narrow escape. Man, oh man. Infinity are now back onto their defensive roots. Infinity and that Aegis got to be expiring soon. And maybe they don't want to risk going for another push now that it might expire. Yeah, that Bloodlust certainly doesn't help either.
Dire's bottom tower
Though it can
is under
reveal
attack.
the proper Naga if it's not multicasted on the illusions, I suppose. Regardless, the attack speed's still going to be that much more nice. And look at that Morphling. Throws together a Satanic. What do you get rid of? Remember. Uh-oh. Off his BKB as King RD shows his face. And will not get caught out by anything. Even the Tornado missed. But they're not going to fire back. Meanwhile, I see Sna places a nice aggressive obs here on the top lane. But here we go, looking to continue sieging it on home here in the bottom. We got a tier 2 still standing, the last tier 2 on the side of Infinity, and then the base is more exposed than it already has been. Remember, they already take out those top set of racks. They want more.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Morphling doesn't want it. Station out the right click, please. Stop it. My tower. Denied at the last second there from MJW. Uh-oh. Blinking Ravage. There's one. There's two. It catches on 3. They take down Morphling. He has to get the buyback out. MJW gets himself to the high ground. That hook shot misses its mark. And Lust is also fall. SN on the brink of his buyback. Pushing back. And that was a huge jump in. They didn't even have Naga for that one. Just those illusions. She heads herself towards the top lane. How do we look at her stash again? God damn it. Yeah, whatever. And here comes Naga back towards the bottom lane. Now things get very nice for Pain Gaming. As Morphling, he goes down again. It's done. For other buybacks, Infinity has his ready to go. That's it. The rest of their team, no buyback available for them. Real rough. Wow, long jump in there. Hook's trying to slow them down. Pulls out the cogs now. Forces most of the illusions back, but they just quickly clean up those cogs like it's nothing.
Rock it on.
I don't know. I don't know what you do at this point. Pain might even... Oh, they're going to scout out Roche. Maybe they played extra safe. Look at that. Looks like Moran's going to go for her own battle. Or butterfly, rather. Uh-oh. Ooh, King RD wants to get a hold of Marana. Marana too quick, though. Quickly leaps away. Yeah, sorry if I sound tired. 5th game. We're on hour number 6 or 7. Been a long day thus far. We're looking to take it home, and of course the last one's got to be the juiciest one of all. A Naga matchup against some Morphling. We're going the long haul, baby, but with Morphling's buyback already being down, man oh man, this could end pretty abruptly if Pain Gaming find a nice proper fight to take in, but I imagine they're going to wait a little bit. Tidehunter expending both of his ultimates to take down that Morphling. They don't want to engage without it, so they'll wait another minute for the refresher order to be up and available. That probably might be enough time for the Roche also to be up and available. So it'll be all the more convenient for Pain Gaming to have double Ravage ready to go and then also get a hold of the Aegis. And then look to put a lid on this game. While Naga continues to farm it out on the side. Now sporting 8.7k. Hasn't changed anything in her immediate slot game. Oh, Infinity, what are you doing? Side split push right there. King RD throws out the tornado. Has to pull BKB TP out to get away. And 40R makes a revisit towards the bottom lane. So small split push potentially coming out here as they get that top lane that has been hindered already from those racks way past the river. Naga Illusions are already up there taking care of it, though. And it looks like Infinity are going to go on the move, though.
Haste.
Uh-oh. Spotted. Pinged. Moonlight Shadow. Going to be seen. Return fire. They're going to get Ned. Ned might fall here, and he will. Quick work. Oh, if they get tied, that would be pretty nice. He has double Ravage. Is he going to be forced to use it here? Naga's back inside the base. They jump forward. Arrow's going to miss, but if you want right clicks, he goes down. I imagine he does have buyback available, however, and he does. So even if Infinity stack gets a bit overzealous here, he can quickly just buy back, blink in, and use both of those Ravages. So nice couple of grabs, but I don't know if it's going to be enough as they both have buyback available to come back into this one. But they need to do something because they're the ones that are behind. Morphling still needs 3 minutes if he wanted to have his own buyback available. Arrow goes up, kind of scout, maybe see if anyone's lingering nearby, but that's not going to be the case. And now they're going to begin to open up. But these racks have buyback protection, so they have to work a little bit harder to get it. They leap well on past. They want to get a hold. BKB pop. She pulls out the song, but that doesn't go through the BKB. As both of them look to unload, they take down Baga. Both of those buybacks were used. The epicenter cleans house right there, but Tidehunter's back. There's your one Ravage. Here comes a second, catches the 3, and they quickly take down Infinity. And also the Morphling. Morphling goes down. He's out for 2 minutes. He will not be back. 40R just goes right for the mid lane and is going right for the jugular. And I'd imagine Marana is going to be forced to use her buyback to come back into this one to do a last and final effort to try to defend. Because 40R is already making his way into the base with creeps available. There is going to be no backdoor protection. And he's sending those illusions towards the bottom while the others open up here on the mid. He's actually not going to get involved. He's going to play it extra safe and just let the illusions do the work. The bottom ones take it down to a near half. And these mid ones also about the same. All right. Cogwork gets forced forward. Almost caught out. King RD throws out the tornado. Catches there on Infinity, who did buy back. Moonlight Shadow going to be taken. He actually uses the Moonlight Shadow. Oh, this is nice for Pain Gaming. BKB's already been popped right here. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Naga pursued in. Takes the rest of that tier 3 down. One set of racks down to half life. Those illusions cleaning house right here. Desperation mode right now for Infinity stack to try to finish this. And for Pain Gaming, very confident now as they clear out the second set of racks. And they know it's done. They call the good game, and we are done. 40R's Naga proves to be too tough. That, with the big team fight effort coming out from your Tidehunter and that double Ravage, just too much to handle. And even Morphling and Marana are not going to be able to offer a whole lot to really contest. And man, oh man, it was a long one. 60 minutes and 43 seconds. We are done. Captain Picard, you're gone. It's my cat in the cup. Hello, my little friend. How you doing? I'm glad we're done. Are you? Anyways, I'm getting delirious, as you can tell. We go ahead and we wrap things up. It is going to be Pain Gaming who finally secured their first win of the Summit 2 by G2A.com in the America Division, putting themselves at 1-3. And Infinity Stack, well, they're going to be taken down now to 3-2. Still in an okay spot for potential tiebreakers and, you know, a couple more wins. They could still hold a top 4 position. But regardless, that's going to do it for today, folks. It's been a great 5 games. I believe we'll be back again tomorrow for another 5 best of ones here in the Summit 2 America. That does begin 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Between now and then, we'll have more Star Ladder action, of course, brought to you also by Beyond the Summit. You can catch that over on Dota Starladder _EN, I believe, for the English stream. It's been a pleasure as always. If you liked what you heard as far as commentary, I would appreciate your support. I appreciate everyone sending their love. Catch it over on my Twitter at CoddleGuy. And that's going to wrap things up for now. Take care, folks. Enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy the rest of your Dota.